What if I told you your gym progress has been stagnant for the last few years? Well, this is actually a reality because most people achieve the goals they set out to do in the first few years of training, and once they've achieved that, they stop progressing. Then they don't make any progress past that point because their initial goals have already been achieved. Things such as being healthy, having a good body, and achieving a 100 kilo bench. Most people end up content with the physique or the progress they've made within the gym because they think they've hit the genetic limit or the ceiling, and they actually haven't. They've only hit the perceived limit, not the actual limit that they could achieve. So here's what you need to do to get out of the intermediate stages of lifting and progress further like your idols. The first thing you'll need to accept is your training and your structure may need to change. You need to be taking out and getting rid of old habits, old techniques within the gym, and old exercises. Regardless of how good you think all the things you're currently doing are, they mustn't be working, otherwise you'd be making progress and you wouldn't be stuck in that intermediate stage. Now this can be things as simple as changing your form on exercises. For example, when you used to be really strict with certain movements, just limbering up a bit and changing that movement to be able to push yourself through a plateau. You also need to set yourself new and clear goals to achieve within the gym. If you want to progress further in your training, but your goals are still the same as they were years ago, then that needs to change. This can be anything such as switching what movements you want to be performing or switching your training structure, or doing something such as bodybuilding when you've been previously powerlifting, or vice versa. This gives you a new goal to aim towards, so you're making small adjustments and progress each week and each month, and you're not getting stuck in the same cycle and the same pattern that you have been for years. I've been training for around 10 years now, and from years 5 to 7, I had a bit of a period where my progress was stagnant and I wasn't making much progress. And what I did is switch from bodybuilding style training to more powerlifting style, and it just gave me a new clear headspace to work towards in my training and give me a different goal to work towards, and my progress in terms of strength and physique and stuff like that has skyrocketed. And even if it hasn't skyrocketed on paper, it's more of a mental attitude. So you might feel like you're making progress when your progress might be small, but at least the mental attitude is still there and it's preventing you from stopping and quitting what you're doing altogether. You're also going to need to realise that you're in this for the long game. If you want to make top tier progress and get out of the intermediate stage and become one of the lifters that people look up to, such as a 1% lifter who's lifting a lot of weight or has a great physique, you need to realise 10 years minimum is the amount of time you're going to be training for. You need to accept it and use that time to improve. Now, a lot of people might be thinking 10 years, that's a long time to put into something to not know even if you're going to make progress, but you can make adjustments within those 10 years as you keep making progress. The people who make the best progress in terms of training are the people who've dedicated themselves years and adjust what they need to do within the training as they go on. And the last thing you need to be doing if you want to get out of that intermediate stage of your lifting is implement a periodization strength focus plan. This means having your main goal in the gym focusing on progressive overload and increasing your lifts over time. You'd be surprised how many people don't actually log the weights that they're doing and don't focus on progressive overload. I was one of these people at one point, and I just tracked my weights mentally and didn't actually physically look back on each week to see if I was improving. Now this might work short term, but once you've gone for years without actually increasing the weight on a movement, you'll look back and realise, oh, I've done something wrong here and I should have changed what I was doing months ago. So make sure progressive overload and increasing your strength is your number one goal within your training sessions. And not just this, you need to give yourself bigger goals and bigger targets in the gym to strive towards. You need to set yourself a course of action and achieve those goals easily. If you've got a clear road ahead at what weights you want to improve on and what exercises you want to increase the weights on, it's way easier to work towards those goals. Now, if you feel like you've been struggling for the past year or so and you're stuck in that intermediate stage and you need help getting out, whether you think your strength hasn't improved, your physique stagnant, or your consistency and mindset in the gym has changed, you can sign up to my online coaching app where I've helped hundreds of people achieve the goals through the link in the description. Now, I'll leave another video up there if you're interested in watching that one, but for now, thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and see you later.